Hi there, welcome to The Sacred Journey. The Sacred Journey is the program that reminds you that life is a wonderful adventure and each and every experience we have is a unique and perfect opportunity for learning. Tonight's program is part 2 of Tibetan singing bowls and the wonderful learning experiences and opportunities we had between part 1 and part 2 left us laughing and lighthearted, and when you laugh, the molecules of your body vibrate a little faster and make you less dense and lighter. So right now we have this really lighthearted energy in the studio. The Tibetan bowls contributed to that. They're benefiting from that. I threw my note card away because we're having more fun just improvising and storytelling. But Brian and Marcy Hickey are back. Thank you both for
Thank you, Joyce.
being, it's my pleasure, for being willing to continue this and to ad-lib. And we were talking while we were setting up for this show. Many people would love to add a bowl to their collection, whether it's for their own personal use, for meditation, just because of the joy of it, for healing work, but they don't know how to pick one, how to choose one, because there's just so many sizes, shapes, prices, types.
Well, the first thing you want to do is find a Tibetan bowl, and not a Chinese bowl or not another bowl, but a Tibetan bowl that's 7 precious metals. And you can pick it up and you always can gong it and just hit it and it will sound, it'll make a sound. But in order to make it sing, you can't grab the whole bowl and try to sing it like this or like this with the wood. You have to have it on your fingertips and hit the bowl a little bit and then gently press on the metal top and it will sing for you. And if it doesn't sing for you in the store, don't purchase it. Put it down and get another one.
It's not your bowl. It might be
bowl.
someone else's.
Exactly. Here, it might sing for me and not for you. Mm-hmm. Yep, so that's more of the idea.
Also, you don't want a thud. You know, you want it, when you hit it, you want it, and the longer it resonates, that tone, you know, these overtones, then the better it is.
And it should come with a stick.
It comes with a stick. Sometimes it
Usually.
comes with a pillow. Put it
Yeah.
on so it looks good on your mantle, or on your table.
But that shouldn't be the reason to not buy it if it doesn't have a pillow. Certainly you
No,
could
not at
add
all.
that.
You shouldn't buy it if it doesn't sing for you.
Right,
And
that's the
also, it
bottom
sounds
line.
different with different instruments hitting it. So this has a nice sound, and you can hit the wood. And each one will sound differently. You can hit it with your knuckle. Oh, this right here. Just with your knuckle. Isn't that cool?
Yeah, and some of the smaller ones I put way up on my
Yes.
fingertips. The
Yes.
bigger ones that are heavier, of course, much
Yes.
harder or impossible to do. So how would you hold one of the larger ones? Or do you keep it on the floor? Or on a pillow? Because you don't want too much to absorb the sound, I would assume.
You want to, if it's flat on the floor, it's fine. We use sometimes the rubber. The rubber really helps them not to move when you're singing them, because they can move around depending on which type of bowl. The Tibetan bowls are pointier, okay, in the bottom. Like the Bhutanese bowls are the ones that are squarer. You can see on the floor there. So we have different, these two darker ones are Japanese temple gongs.
And I noticed some of them have a lip that comes in a little bit.
Yeah, the lip that comes in. So there's different theories and different teachings. Things that come in work on the inside, they say. But actually the bowls work fundamentally body, mind, and spirit. That's what's so great about them. So you don't have to, if you're working on one particular thing, just don't worry about it because it's taking care of everything. The vibrations want to move through you and unblock blockages. And so they have many tones.
You said you pick up the bowl as is. I'm holding this bowl. It's almost breaking my left wrist.
It looks like you have
So
this
we
pained
have, so it's
expression.
here. So we were laughing before because when we do 10 bowl healing with a training table and such, the bowls are on stands and upside down like this, and we hit
With
the
a suction
bowl.
cup and a copper tubing. Copper is
Copper
a good
tu-
conductor,
that,
so.
that keep
yeah.
it there. So we were laughing because we like to take the bigger bowls and go like this.
Such a good look
Go
for
like
you.
this.
Can I hit it?
Never let your wife.
And hit the bowl.
So you want a softer
And
hit
you
for
can
me.
sit and you can feel the energy coming right down both of my hands, going down my thighs, down to my toes, and down my spine.
I've got a good story. I was working on somebody, a friend of mine, daughter-in-law, just had a new baby, and so she wanted to gift her with a sound healing. So I went to the house, she lied on the bed, I had all the bowls around her, I was working on her, and her newborn baby was downstairs screaming his head off. Well, I kept hitting, I'm like, oh, I hope she can relax, I'm hitting the bowls. I'm trying to make them even louder so she can't hear it. Well, the crying got louder and louder, and my friend had to bring him upstairs to change him. He was a newborn, screaming. She said when she got to the outside of the door where I was hitting the bowls, the baby just stopped and went limp. And that was a really cool experience. That it just totally just relaxed him. And his agitation.
It's a vibration, so sure.
Yeah, and a baby, can you imagine how that baby felt? They're so sensitive.
No, I do that with my bowl that's a little smaller than that. I have 2 different sizes, and it's pretty amazing, and you do want to tap it lightly because the sound is magnified and the vibration is magnified, and you get made fun of and laughed at for a few seconds, but it's so worth it because it feels so great.
Well, one of the most important things is you have to make sure your head fits inside the bowl. You can't try something like this.
Right.
Okay.
I have a student that's a stroke survivor, and I asked him for a testimonial, and I just want to read it because someday he'll watch this, and I asked him to do it today.
Yeah.
He does Qigong with me, but anyways, he said, Marcy, I'm Vern Taylor and a stroke survivor. I've done Qigong and sound therapy through the Tibetan bowls. Both stimulate the growth of neurological cross connections and have given me back 95% of my body, cognitive and physical, that were lost to the stroke. Qigong and sound therapy will continue to improve my well-being. Hope this helps you. Now, the Qigong, you have to do some of the work yourself, but the bowls, you can just lie down and just allow the vibrations to flow through you, and it really just wants to just flow through you.
Now, you do a once-a-week concert.
Once a month.
Once a month, I'm sorry.
First
The
Friday of every
Friday
month.
of the month in Granby. At
In the
what
First
church?
Congregational Church at 7:30 p.m.
On Route 189.
Okay, so people who are troubled by something could go there and, you know, on whatever level they're ready, receive healing. But people can go for the sheer joy and how great it feels. You don't need to have an issue.
It's a gentle detox. So you need to drink a lot of water, because if you get a headache, just like if you have a really deep massage, you might feel you need to drink a lot of water to replace that, because you are going to detox, because they're shaking, they're vibrating, every cell in your body. And actually, Mitchell Gaynor, MD, is the founder and president of Gaynor Integrative Oncology, and you can actually go online, www.drgaynor.com. And he's the best-selling author of 4 books and a CD about healing power of sound, and there's a couple other ones. But he writes something I think is really important to share, and it says, if we accept that sound is vibration, and we know that vibration touches every part of our physical being, then we understand that sound is heard not only through our ears, but through every cell in our bodies. One reason sound heals on a physical level is because it so deeply touches and transforms us on the emotional and spiritual planes. Sound can redress imbalances on every level of physiological functioning and can play a positive role in the treatment of virtually any medical disorder. Dr. Mitchell Gaynor, Director of Medical Oncology and Integrative Medicine at the Cornell Cancer Prevention Center in New York.
That's fantastic that
Yeah.
medical doctors and hospitals are accepting that this is not just something they should allow, this is something they should promote, because they're seeing that it makes a difference. That's fantastic.
And we learned, you know, this is where we had our courses through the Hartford Hospital Integrative Medicine Department. So we certified, went through 18 weeks of training with the bowls. The first 6-week section was 1 bowl. The second one, we had to own 3 bowls. And then the third session was we had to own 10 bowls. And Brian said,
If you ever thought I'd own more than 3 bowls or 1 bowl, for heaven's sakes, never, never.
Here
And
you are.
As one of our sellers once said, you can go into a place and you can buy Bentleys and Mercedes, or you can buy Volkswagens and Ramblers. So I, at the first time, said, could you show me some Buicks and some Chevrolets?
Some mid-range.
And I bought 3 bowls from him, and then we got lucky with buying some other bowls from a internet site, and they ended up sending me 4 Mercedes, which was really nice.
They were going out of business.
And then everywhere we go, jewelry shows, I would like to say head shops, but Provincetown we bought bowls. California we bought bowls. On Route 44 in Avon we bought bowls.
So you just know how to determine if this is a good bowl for you.
It's getting harder and harder now, I think, because they're so popular now. But, you know, there's some really reputable people out there that actually have a connection to Nepal, probably, in India also. It's like, as I said, they're taking this from the Himalayas, all these
So not
these 7
just
metals.
Tibet then, because I know now they're not bringing
because,
more.
No, there's some people that can still get in there, and like Richard Rudis, our teacher's teacher, I did get a bowl from him in California, as you got a bowl.
Yeah,
from
I
him.
have 2
So I
bowls
knew it
from
was
him.
going to
He
be.
was my teacher, yeah. And I know that
It was good quality. So yeah.
because he's trusted and respected and has such a love of doing this and such a great respect. But he explained that so many were melted down during the Chinese invasion.
Yes.
And they had to bury them, keep them alive.
sad, yeah.
And then dug them out years later. And monks use them to, of course, meditate. And
Such a rich, rich history to them.
Yeah.
Now, I know that animals are just as responsive to humans, so I know that you also do work with animals, or certainly would if asked. And we were talking a little bit about remote or distant healing. If a person's not able to get to you, nor you to them, with your intentions, you can send and direct healing energy to them.
The thought waves, the spoken word travel with the waves, the sound waves, and become very powerful. So I've actually, you can tone with the bowls also, and you can speak your intention. You can do it. We all have our own way of doing things, and it really, our thought waves are so we connect with everyone, and the bowls want to help. The bowls are bodhisattvas, and they actually they're wonderful tools.
Bada what?
Bodhisattvas.
I know that word.
And so
From Richard.
yeah, so they are beings that want to be helpful.
Now, you are both you're doing some really cutting edge things with sound or vibrational healing for people in recovery, because it's a known fact that you can change your practices and in recovery, but things can remain in the body. And what a great way to release it. I have a friend who's doing yoga just to release trauma from the body.
Yeah.
And you're doing this kind of work. Amazing stuff.
Well, a while ago, Marcy was on the phone with a friend of ours that comes to the bowl Argon baths and everything else, and I'm in the other room, and I hear Marcy talking to the person that comes to our going baths. My husband's dying in the other room. He's got a kidney stone and everything else. And I said, Marcy, didn't we give her a bowl? I says, go tell her to put the bowl on her next to her husband and on his kidney, and call us in a couple of days. Sure enough, he can't pass this stone for a few days. He gets the bowl, and the stone passes the next day, no problem.
There's a lot of information online. You can use other instruments too to break up tumors, and how long you have to play for. So the guitar can do that, the gong can do that. We met a wonderful man from Bermuda that worked with women with breast cancer, and then he would just hit the gong for, I think it was 21 minutes. We did it with my mom for a little while, and it's amazing because it went away, but it did come back later on, unfortunately. But 21 minutes for the gong, 9 minutes for guitar, but you have to keep doing it, But what happens is the cancer cells can't stay in their form. Sound can create form. They found out that 5 notes can actually create a form, like sand. So if you go online, you can find out, what actually it can do. But they can break up tumors and
Kind of
masses.
fascinating and interesting things. My 2 bowls were moved by someone in my house to create space in my workshop space, and I wasn't there when it was done, and I couldn't find them. And I looked in all the obvious places, I looked in some of the not so obvious places. Many people had helped to clear the space, and nobody remembered handling them or where they were put. And I thought, oh, I hope they're not lost for good. They couldn't have ended up in a box and thrown in the trash. But so my friend brought his over. I was just really beside myself. So he sang his bowl, and I heard and felt this little hum coming from a closet under the stairs, way in the back at the part of the stairs that goes like this, and there's not much space, underneath a stack of plastic tray tables inside a basket. And that's, I mean, I would have never found them on my own. So that was really cool.
Yeah.
Now, we're just having such a great time here that our time is flying by. And we have about 9 minutes left. So first, I'd like to thank our viewers for joining us on the Sacred Journey. We'll see you next week. Do not go anywhere. Richard, I'm thinking of Richard Rudis. I'm sure he's here in spirit since we talk about him so much. Brian and Marcy are going to gift us with some more concert and sound healing, and I am allowed to play the sound pod. I've been holding this excitedly for the entire time. So thanks again. See you next week. Thank you, Marcy. Thank you, Brian.